When following a pitch of ice and taking out ice screws, there are a few considerations I have. One is my stance. I want my feet to be nice and level, parallel to each other, and very comfortable. If I keep my hips in and my back arched like I do when I swing, it's much easier to take out the jaw and the screw. So in this stance, I can easily access the jaw, unclip it from the ice screw, clip it onto my gear loop, and unclip my rope. Then I want to think about my proximity to the ice screw. If I'm level with it versus far below it, it's hard to take it out. So when it's somewhere in the shoulder to hip range, it's much easier to take off the dial, spin it out. I also want to think about the length of that screw. Since this is a blue one, I have a pretty good idea of how long that is. And once I get close to the end, I'll slow down my movement a little bit. Then I like to grab that with my other thumb. And there are a couple ways to clean this out. One is I can kind of shake it a little bit, see if that works enough. Complete it by blowing into it. If it's really cold, be careful putting your lips on that. Or I can go ahead and hit the top of the screw on the ice. The other thing that I do is I could take this and maybe hit the very top of my tool, but I do not want to hit the threads or the tip. That will wreck my screw and I'll have to fix that with a file. Then I'm going to go ahead and put that right on my clipper. In order to take out the screw and not get pumped, I'll use the opposite hand of my top tool. This arm you can see is nice and long and relaxed with my thumb off of the tool. One common mistake is trying to pull out the ice screw too early. So as you can see, I can barely reach the draw. I want to make sure I clip that to me first, then unclip my rope. But notice how my screw is way up high, and it's actually hard. I have to crank off of this arm to get closer to it, and it's hard for me to undo that from above. It also runs the risk of potentially dropping it since it's so far out of my reach, particularly when I get to the very end. I have to be very careful about grabbing that. But mostly I think it's really difficult on your form. You'll get pumped out more closely like this instead of relaxing on your arm to take out the screw. Another common mistake is accidentally missing one of these. We want to make sure that we get our gear loop and we get our ice clipper. So if you have a lot of clothing, make sure you tuck it in. That way you can see your harness really clearly. Another consideration for taking out ice screws is where our tools are in relation to the ice screw. I want them to be away from them, off to one side, ideally, so that when I turn this, it doesn't hit my tool. If I think that it's too close, I'm just going to move that tool out of the way. Remember to hang long off that top arm, unclip the screw, clip that carabiner to your harness, then unclip the rope. That way you can't drop it. Want to clean that out again? Give it a little shake if it's already clean. Great. Clip that to my clipper. Keep moving.